All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here again, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. All right, here is Stardust, Highway to Heartbreak. I don't know if you can see this. This is a really good album, and people should check it out for sure. I think it's either Sweden, Denmark, the Netherlands. It's somewhere in that region. And these guys are really good. This came out like 3 years ago. If you like the music of, say, Whitesnake or maybe Journey and Foreigner and all that kind of AOR sound, really well done. Kind of came out and went away quickly when it came out. But Stardust, Highway to Heartbreak, check it out. Also, Bette Midler, she's kind of a heartbreaker, huh? Or she... Well, she kind of used to be a long, long time ago. But now it's a little bit heartbreaking to read that somebody would twist the Easter message to call for gun control. A resurrection for victims of school shootings. Yeah. This is her tweet on Easter. Okay? People are enjoying time with their family, going to church to worship because it's Easter. Some people, they do the Christmas and Easter routine. This, I think, is a little more important of a holiday. You know why? Because without the resurrection, Good Friday doesn't make sense and Christmas doesn't make sense. But the resurrection makes all of it make sense. And it's the most important thing that's ever happened in the history of the world. But here's what old Bette has to say about this. On this most holy day in the Christian calendar, remember the slaughter of your own innocents in school shootings across America. And let this Easter mark a resurrection for them and for your commitment to change. It's your turn. Hashtag moms demand action. Okay, I'm a little confused how it's going to be a resurrection for them. Now, if they put their faith and trust in Christ, yes, correct. But remembering the slaughter of your own innocents in school shootings. Now, again, there's no concern about mental health. There's no concern about maybe hardening the schools a little bit, securing the schools. The article goes on to say that Midler has been a proponent of restricting Second Amendment rights via gun control. For example, after a suspect with stolen guns, keep in mind they were stolen guns, opened fire in Sandy Hook, Midler tweeted, "Our Second Amendment was written before we had a national army or even a police force. The English law, which we copied, is 300 years old." Okay, so that means what? It's null and void because it's 300 years old? Or we didn't have a police force or an army? Whatever. This is just ridiculous reasoning. I'm trying to follow it, but it's not worth actually following here. Back on January 22nd, Midler claimed there had already been 36 mass shootings in the U.S. for the year and extrapolated that figure could mean there might be 625 mass shootings in the U.S. by the year's end. Of course, we had a shooting yesterday at a bank. And look, you can read into that what you want to, but I know what the political views of that shooter were. And it wasn't a school shooting, by the way. It was a bank shooting, okay? People are just becoming more and more unhinged. The condition of mental health, like just having your brain function properly, that condition is really what needs to be examined more than anything else. Because if one of these lunatics comes at you with a stolen gun or one they made themselves, via whatever, and, oh, Dave, it's not that, it's very easy to do this stuff. Again, the Constitution of the United States was designed for a moral and righteous people. We are no longer a moral and righteous people, so the Constitution doesn't work anymore. And I'm not saying it's a bad document. I'm just saying you have to have all these ingredients for it to work properly. It goes on to say here, Hollywood leftists have long claimed an exaggerated number of mass shootings per year. And they go on to cite other statistics that didn't actually align with reality. Midler, who predicts 624 mass shootings for 2023, and her Easter message centers on securing more restrictions for the Second Amendment. And to kind of compare Easter to school shootings, and I know, look, if you lost a loved one in a school shooting, I mean, I don't even know how you do Easter. I don't know how you do any of it. I don't know if taking away the guns is the right answer, though. How can it be the right? Okay, so what kind of laws? Who's got the strictest laws? Has California eliminated shootings? Do they have zero there? I think Illinois, too. They have a pretty strong resistance to the Second Amendment. New York. There are a lot of places where it's very difficult to acquire a firearm. But it doesn't go away. I think Connecticut, the state where Sandy Hook occurred, I think they have some crazy laws on the books. So if the laws aren't working, what's next? Well, obviously, just to confiscate. Because, 300 years ago, this was written and we didn't have a standing army, because the standing army is going to get there in time when someone decides that they don't like you or they've lost their mind and they've acquired a firearm and you don't have one because you can't get one. Look, I'm not this crazy gun guy where I'm like, hey, I'm in love with guns. I'm starting to see it as a way to defend yourself from the insanity, which seems to be growing by the second. So on one side, you're going to have people say, we need to get rid of this because it's causing it. And the other side is going to say, no, we need to keep it because people are going insane. I'm going to kind of err on the side of keeping it because of the people, and that might include certain governments too, like certain institutions within the framework of our government that really don't like certain groups of people anymore and exclude them, and they promote other groups of people. And if you're not aligned with the way they promote certain groups of people, then guess what that means? That means that you're a target of them. Not a literal target, but just, hey, you've got to think like we do. And there's an activist community out there that's really just been given the green light to do what they want to do. And they have no fear because they know that for the most part, the law is not going to ever catch up with them. Anyway, folks, another kind of ridiculous subject in a way. Bette Midler, who's had a history of this stuff. What do I think of Bette Midler? Bette Midler was a great singer in her prime. She was a lot of fun in the late 70s and into the 80s, I think. But her political views, I mean, this is the typical establishment, Hollywood. I mean, I don't understand any of it. I mean, I guess the people who like Bette Midler are pretty much all aligned with her on these issues. So she's just kind of preaching to her own little choir out there. And the people who disagree with her, like me, we don't really care that much. We just don't, It's sad, but that's the reality. Everything is so tribal and you can't really enjoy anything anymore, because then you find out about what this person thinks about all day long. And you're like, really? Really? What if I want to protect my daughter who lives at home? What if I want to protect them from some predator? Every time I turn on the news, every single day, there's somebody trying to do harm to children. Now you'll say, okay, well, she's making the point that this wouldn't have happened in the schools. And yeah, you should protect the schools. How about you protect the schools so they're not soft targets for insane people? How about you do that? Oh, that wouldn't mean we'd ban guns. We'd have more guns. What are you doing? I'm trying to protect children from lunatics. All right, pretty simple. Anyway, folks, I need to focus on some lighter subject matter. I know people like this stuff, but it is depressing to do videos like this and then to realize how crazy the world is, and it's just getting worse. Here's Stardust and their aptly titled album Highway to Heartbreak. All right, check it out. If you like the music of Whitesnake, Foreigner, and Journey, you'll like Stardust. All right, you'll like it a lot, guaranteed, or your money back. Nope, I didn't say that. Just go stream it somewhere. If you really like it, buy a copy of it, and then you can thank me later. All right, I'm done. Don't forget to subscribe. See you soon.